câmera, que eu passei um tempo doente devido a minha rinite ter atacado, tossindo muito, tô um pouco melhor, mas não o suficiente para ficar aparecendo. Então, peço a compreensão de vocês e se forem novatos aí no canal, se inscrevam, tá? Que isso ajuda bastante. Aí tô fazendo hoje do Genshin Impact, capítulo de Interlúdio. Vai começar já nele, que eu quase começava ele de fato sem estar na live. Da cidade de Sumeru para a cidade de Fontaine. Apesar que teve uma cena que eu passei sem querer, que foi enquanto eu explorava Sumeru, que foi uma vista que elas tiveram de Fontaine, mas só de menos.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatarasuna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
A cidade de Sumeru é uma cidade bem acadêmica. Mistura a cidade acadêmica com natureza, com deserto também. É uma cidade bem interessante.
Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything. Great! Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
Eu comecei o capítulo. Ó, a discussão ali ainda.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see.
Eu acabei
My teacher
acostumando com a
chose
voz
this
da
area
pai
of
no
research
inglês.
as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are two missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kabuki mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Não vou ler como sempre não, vou deixar passando aqui bem devagar, porque eu vou falar o mínimo possível também. Ali tá com... não está muito bem, né? Para não ficar tantos dias sem live, eu tô fazendo essa. Aí você pode pausar depois para poder ler o enredo, caso queira. Pode ir pausando. Vou deixando aqui. É mais a parte aí falando da enredo de tudo que aconteceu aí.
And please read my essay draft as well.
Pô, esse é mais curto. Opa, amigo. Justice for Rosária, né? Coitada. Ela chegou tão bem e depois foi censurada, coitada. Bem-vindo, amigo. E depois apareceram outros personagens com atributos maiores que o dela inicialmente, né? Tipo a Shinra. Aí eu vou deixando a história passar para quem quiser ler depois, é só ir pausando. Pronto.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow
Hoje
his
não vou
more
ler tudo,
creative
não.
approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Deviam reajustar a Rosária, né?
Just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information... Besides, if there really was a political power struggle
Esse
going
jogo
on,
também
at
tem muito
anything like the
enredo.
level you seem to be suggesting, what hope...
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info...
Essa Paimon é uma onda. Muitas cenas engraçadas com ela.
Hey, so...
Raramente tem uma cena triste dela.
It has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it? Okay, then, even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that, if you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees. Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
É aquela frase, né? Falando no diabo, aparece o rabo.
No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
O pessoal fala muito da cidade de Sumeru, que foi chato e tal, mas o enredo dessa cidade foi muito boa. E a exploração também. Foi uma das que eu mais gostei. Eu não gostei foi de Nazuma, porque minha labirintite atacou em algumas dungeons, quando precisava ficar invertida.
Paimon, there you are.
A dungeon em si, a masmorra,
Strolling around in public.
e também era muito apertado o personagem, aí eu ficava um pouco
Sure
tonto.
enough, you're here.
Hey, what are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was...
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting...
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all? But Paimon's worried about you, Nihida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think
É
you've seen
fogo
it all.
mesmo.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us. As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to
foi
understand more
engraçada.
about that in the fullness of time. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. Plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui play.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back
Eita.
losers.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not... Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility...
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear. Don't...
Yeah, obviously! Nihira, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend...
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nihira, are you...
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah.
Botei o nome dela como Lubei, né? Na verdade, o nome dela pra Lumiyugi. Devido ao jogo de cartas do
You may
jogo.
remember me mentioning that
The
the
Genshin
Fatui
pack.
had not included your twin's details. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the balladeer used to be, he was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it so I asked the balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders.
Acho que é aí onde a personagem entra. Se ele mentir.
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time...
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for... As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the ballad. If this deal with the balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing, it's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's...
Paimon's still worried about
Essa
this
coisa é
idea.
demorada pra
I was
começar
going
de
to contact
fato.
you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the balladeer on my behalf
Aí,
while
não
he
disse?
carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction
ficar
of
de
his
olho
full
nele.
power left, that's still a fraction of a form. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Prepare yourselves.
O bom e velho teleporte. Ajuda muito.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I...
You big jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of unlike anywhere else. Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you...
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We, per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacle.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at...
If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Bom, ele tem uns 400 anos, né? Deve ter mais experiência.
The snark on this guy. It's
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the end. Ooh.
Ó, que bonito.
Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws
Esse
up
jogo é
off the
muito
floor.
bonito.
It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so... say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you...
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out.
O lugar é muito bonito mesmo.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Ou seja, tem que ficar na pista, né?
It looks the same in every direction.
Ele vai
No
sempre
wonder you mentioned
cortando o
about getting
caminho.
lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
Esse jogo tem muitas paisagens bonitas.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Principalmente em Sumeru, que teve muitas.
Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
Isso não é chata.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
A deusa da sabedoria também pode se apossar das pessoas quando necessário.
So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking
Teve uma missão que ela
contradiction?
fez isso.
He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
A viajante, a Lumi, né? Ou Lumi Yugi como é a minha, de vez em quando ela fala, voz
You
mesmo,
made contact with that part of his mind.
em quests, em cenas.
Well,
Mas
it's
normalmente
true.
é assim, como se fosse pensamento
Betrayal
ou só
turned
escolha do
Balladire
jogador.
into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatara Suna incident.
Opa, seja bem-vindo ao canal.
Do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination.
Não esqueçam de deixar o like, tá? Valeu.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't
Bocuda.
insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
Tá falando sobre ele, mas não tá falando mal, não.
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage.
É inteligente, né?
Wait.
É um ramo.
Right. It looks similar to those saplings.
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Pegou a história dele.
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great
Eu
hospitality,
tô tendo a visão da
as has
história
Mikoshi
dele.
Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. People are... As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as the forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths.
Medula de cristal você só pega no mapa em Inazuma. Exatamente em Tatara Suna.
Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And you allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed.
Teve uma quest de uma espada amaldiçoada que eu fiz. Muito boa a quest. E a pessoa minha espada como recompensa no final.
Working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. And it has been...
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace.
Tecnologia a carvão, né? A
None
vapor.
of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with the Shogun. This is our last hope, but that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise...
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring the...
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torachiyo.
A Shogun,
the
a
yokai
Raiden
struck
Shogun,
down by the
é uma
Shogun's own
marionete da
hand.
deusa do trovão.
If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an
Esqueci o nome dela
abundance of
completa,
caution
só tem
is
que
well
nome aí.
advised.
Ela foi basicamente uma ditadura por
Well
uns
informed on the subtleties
400,
of his
500
situation
anos.
for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat?
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your... I'm in charge here. And I'm about to...
Judging from the look in your eyes...
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever... I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have...
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Essa parte que estão falando do cadeirão, eu já consertei também, Tatara Suna. E teve a sabotagem, como tá mostrando aí na história. O local estava todo destruído, incluindo as fornalhas.
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd
Aí
disguise
teve que ir
myself
literalmente
exceptionally
eliminando
well.
os
At
inimigos,
least
o
for the
mal
first
lá,
few days.
e
But to
conseguindo
my
os itens para poder
surprise, it's a
consertar as fornalhas
long journey from
e fazer
Inazuma to
funcionar do modo
Fontaine, but
correto.
that didn't stop them. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me, there's no one who can get in...
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out.
Tá falando dos caramujos.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger.
Dottore.
Call me
Ah, pô, o bicho é tão velho assim.
Doctor.
The Fatui? Who?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
Quase todo mundo nesse jogo é centenário.
That's it. That's why you gave us your cursed technology.
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with... My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe, and it is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with
Explica muita
hate.
coisa da história.
So give in to your fury. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead.
Porra.
If he has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. You don't think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what
O bicho é ruim desde
happens.
sempre, viu?
Will your puppet friend become Mr. Niwa? Jester, I have completed the task you
Olha aí.
gave me. Create. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful,
Desde o início.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore!
Isso aí é cena, não é TV falhando não, viu?
Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a But why did we see things from... When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it...
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. You know very well what that means. Even more... Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. We need to give him some time to process his emotions. I'm still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but... Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand.
Opa, Retinha, valeu like, bem-vinda aí.
So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment. The balladeer became after the events you just saw in that memory. The doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic. The mechanic answered. Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Holy moly! So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? Yes. Only if he understands this can you choose a new path forward.
História retada dele.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Esperar um tempo. Deixar ele na dele, né? Ah, não pode nem abrir o menu.
see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, aren't you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
A viajante é literalmente a viajante de outro mundo. Olha aí o irmão.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
Deu no pé.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. He's really gone!
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now?
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out!
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or...
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get...
Teleporte de volta. O load é um pouco demorado às vezes.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab on?
A Lorde Maior Rukkhadevata é uma deusa anterior da sabedoria.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened already and it's like... Imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as... So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon's so confused! Huh? Ah! Sorry, Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this but erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable! Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up... Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat! He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him! There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we... Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still... So, how about... we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish.
Ela tá lembrando que gosta de comer.
Chicken mushroom skewers, tea break pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake, and Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying salad.
Sem noção.
Also, Adeptus temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and...
Tá, pô. Ela caiu no sono.
What do we... What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about.
Listou comidas.
Is that a food... What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the balladeer. Is that
O
someone's
viajante,
name?
ou no caso a
'Cause
viajante
it sounds
aí,
like a nickname or something.
mesmo que as memórias no mundo sejam apagadas, ela consegue lembrar. Provavelmente porque não é desse mundo.
Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Find my Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting...
Vamos lá, usar o famoso teleporte. Ó, 48. Deixa eu já usar aqui. Alquimia. Peraí. Essa cidade sempre me confunde. Bem aqui. Opa, bem-vindo ao canal. For novato, deixa o like aí, tá? Gabriel se abre. Opa, Gabriel, beleza? De boa, graças a Deus.
Ah, it's been a while.
E você, como é que está?
Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. The once
Tô bem
renowned
melhor
Raiden
hoje.
Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Aminoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging
Tô estudando
practiced by
enquanto eu
these
vejo a
5
live.
clans
Boa.
was first taught to them
Valeu.
personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time. But fortunately, Kaede Harakazu recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin
Fazer o
art.
maior como possível.
If my memory
Vamos
serves
ver
me
aí quando
right,
chegar na parte de
you
luta, né?
yourself were present
E por enquanto tá
when he
sendo só
forged the
história
Ishin blade.
nessa quest. Que ela está bem importante, falando a história do Scaramouche, que é a marionete da Raiden. Ou melhor, daí.
My friends, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life.
Mas esse jogo eu consigo fazer alguns combos, apesar do meu dano não estar autossuficiente ainda. Tem que melhorar muito meus personagens.
There is no harm in telling you, the Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murder.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa, the smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastation in his heart. The whole of Inazuma
Os
was
personagens
culpable
iniciais
in his
não tem
tragedy.
diferença, é só skin.
He hated the almighty Shogun
A diferença
for
é
her apparent
mínima,
indifference towards
é
his
mais
father's
alguma
death,
nos combos
and he
e
hated
a
everyone who had
força.
done nothing. Powerless and destitute.
Mas
The only legacy he had to
diferença
pass
é
on to
quase
his
zero.
children was his
Eu
hatred.
escolhi a menina no início do
Generation after
jogo.
generation bore this
Aí na
grudge.
primeira vez que eu escolhi, depois me arrependi, né? Mas acabei acostumando.
If only the
Tem
story could have
diferença
ended
de
there.
muitas não.
But 100 years ago,
Na diferença no visual dos combos, que um é melhor que o outro,
he could bear their fate no
e um
longer.
pouco na
And
força.
yet, he
Agora
could do
não lembro
nothing to
qual é o melhor
change
em
it.
cada coisa.
Finally, he made a drastic decision.
Agora é o seguinte, escolheu é a vida inteira naquela conta, aquele personagem, não podem mudar
He
não.
sought to vent his pet anger and shake the very foundations of
Mas a
Inazuma's
Lumi é
forging
legal,
industry.
a Lumine, né? Que é o nome
In his
dela.
fury, he
É bem
murdered
legal.
indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths
Na
from the
história,
Hyakume
o
clan,
personagem
which he
canônico
belonged to.
é o irmão, a Ether.
His goal was absolute, but when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato
O
clans,
Netbot ainda funciona.
his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire...
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday.
Aí teve esse caso aí que estão falando,
My
que era do
pleasure.
clã Shin,
Don't tell Paimon.
com uma espada amaldiçoada, que eu até
Other
citei um
places you wanna
pouquinho
visit
antes.
too, right?
A espada que eu consegui no final da quest é muito boa.
Stop. Lead the way.
Não, deixa eu mostrar ela, deixa eu ver se eu encontro ela aqui. Deixa eu ver, é essa. Não, é essa aqui. Kagotsurubi Ishin. Tem um bom ataque. Tanto o ataque normal quanto o básico. metros. Teleporte na veia. Espada top. É. E olha que é uma espada 4 estrelas. O ataque dela é bastante alto para uma espada
This
desse
is the
ranking,
National
né?
Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the commissioner,
Vale a
Miss
pena fazer a quest
Kamisato,
dele, principalmente com
I'm
essa
afraid
recompensa no
timing
final.
is unfor-
Are they out on business?
The commissioner is
Só
out
tive o
on
trabalho de
business.
evoluir ela
Miss
para
Kamisato
90,
is
que
standing
não foi
in
nada
for some
demais.
meetings in the commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
Ah, o clã Kamisato é um dos maiores clãs de Inazuma.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say? Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all
A
kinds
voz da
of
véia é bem
meetings
lentinha, como uma
and
idosa mesmo.
occasionally paying visits to some local organization. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does
So pretty much business as usual.
very much so.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since... I mean it.
A viajante
Whenever the
nesse jogo
commissioner dines at
está
home,
resolvendo os problemas
Toma
por onde
always
passa.
joins him.
Lembra
I
muito um
always
anime que assisti
find myself
antigamente.
at my most relaxed when
Kino
I'm
no Tabi,
serving
A Jornada
the
de
two of
Kino em
them
português.
and listening to
Muito
them
bom,
chat
recomendo.
away.
É um anime antigo, mas
The
bom.
commissioner has such a busy
Que
schedule
parece que
that
teve
he
uma outra
doesn't always
versão
have the
recentemente.
chance
Ainda
to
não
take his
assisti
meals
essa,
at home.
mas o antigo assisti.
But given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine. They say it's because Toma's a
Recomendo
much
bastante.
better
Kino,
chef
K-I-N-A,
than most.
espaço N-O, espaço
The
T-A-B-I.
commissioner is so
A Viagem de
fond of
Kino,
home
ou A Jornada de
comforts.
Kino.
They get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very... Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. It's been many years now since the late... As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son. So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please... Wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really great.
Ela não falou nada de
Paimon's itching
comida.
to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner.
Of course.
Vai chegar idealmente na hora do jantar.
Always welcome.
É de coisa de quem pensa em comida mesmo.
Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now.
Very well. Safe travel.
Aí tô procurando agora pistas sobre o Scaramouche, porque ele como se tivesse voltado ao passado para mudar a vida dele ou ser apagada a história, né? Já que ele disse que não vai ser mais reconhecido como Scaramouche. Como se ele tivesse tentado mudar algo. Aí tô atrás de informações sobre isso aqui nessa quest agora. Mudei a personagem.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is...
Xavier? What are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific...
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to
Pode ser
know,
o
just
personagem do
ask away.
zero. É, porque tem uma história fixa, né, Gabriel? Aí fica mais difícil de criar um
Like the
personagem
back
do
of my
zero.
hand.
É tipo The Witcher 3.
Make no mistake, I
Já
have
tem o
been here a
Geralt.
good many times
Aí
before.
você
Not
só
only
joga
that,
com
but I've
ele.
met people in Inazuma whose families used to live
Basicamente
in
isso.
Tatarasuna. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale
Mas
of
que seria legal
Tatarasuna
seria.
starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the
O ruim
most
de um jogo com uma
foremost
história
forging and
fechada é
smelting
isso.
operations in the nation.
Você
Goes
não
back
personaliza o
around 1,000
personagem.
years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious...
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago.
Eu acho engraçada a
Fun
diferença dos
fact,
olhos.
I'm not the first
Olha os olhos
Fontaine
desse
tech guy to
cara.
come and work on it
São
either.
pequenos,
There
mas
was a guy back
normais,
then,
né?
too.
Por assim dizer.
They say he was a mechanic
Pronto, normal,
who
tá
consulted
vendo?
on a technology
Aí agora,
upgrade.
olha a
Seems like the
Lumiúg e a
technological
Paimon,
collaboration
os olhos
between our two
enormes.
nations goes back.
Ó. Eu acho massa isso.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask
Pra fazer a
Xavier
build de
something about
armadura.
Tatarasuna?
É, tem isso, né?
Ask already.
Oh,
Mas
I
aqui
didn't
é
realize
quase
you two were here
isso.
for
A
a history
diferença é que é
lesson.
com arma
Me
e
neither.
artefatos.
Paimon doesn't know what's
A
gotten
pessoa
into
não
this
equipa
one today.
armadura,
Feels like we've been
bota,
preparing for
luvas
a
não.
history exam or something.
A pessoa consegue
What
artefatos,
brought
que
this
são
on?
5.
Did you just wake up today
Aí
with a
cada
sudden
artefato
burning?
tem uma
Sure,
categoria,
go
né?
ahead.
Como se fosse colar, coroa, taça, Pingente, eu acho. Não.
Mono?
Esqueci agora, deu branco. São 5 categorias, eu nunca lembro o nome das 5. Aí você vai montando os conjuntos. Cada conjunto tem uma funcionalidade. Para ter o efeito completo de um conjunto, basta ter somente 4, não precisa ser os 5. Ou para ter um efeito primário do conjunto, basta ter 2. Aí você pode ter 2 conjuntos ativos, mais um aleatório, ou um conjunto completo com 4, mais um aleatório ou um do mesmo. Aí ele muda os atributos, que como é um jogo do tipo gacha, né? Gacha, ele é um pouco variado nisso. Pode ver atributos que você precisa ou inúteis. Mas essa aleatoriedade é o que dá um pouco de graça para você jogar. Tem dano e co-op, tem sim. Principalmente dano elemental, que você pode fazer uma mistureba durante a batalha. É muito massa. Ela só pensa em comer, meu irmão. Rapaz, eu só penso em comer, pô. A outra conquista, que terminou outra parte da história. As cortinas se fecham. Encerramento do Kabuki Mono. Eu acho que já estou perto de concluir essa história para começar outra. E os elementos são muito bons. O elemento mais novo que tem atualmente é o elemento Dendro. É como se fosse o elemento natureza, mato. Aí o pessoal falando assim na internet, né, no grupo de Genshin Impact. Oxe, elemento terra, natureza, nada a ver. Aí o pessoal zoando, e eu ia zoar com isso também, né? Como página, que me situa o grupo como página, como gameplay retrô, que eu gosto. Aí o pessoal falou antes, eu só botei o haha e concordando, que é verdade. Oxe, tu nunca apanhou desse pó não, é? Leva uma porrada desse pó pra ver se não dói. E é uma verdade, pô. O elemento da natureza faz sentido existir. Leva uma cipoada pra ver. É um dano da porra, meu irmão. Chega a ficar marca.
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we...
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
Lê novamente. Acho que vai mudar alguma coisa no artigo. Vou passar devagar aqui, para que possam pausar. Não vou ler tudo dessa vez, não. Eita, vou espirrar. Ó, o que mudou aqui, ó. Pera aí. Foi mal. Minha rinite ainda tá atacando. Esse amarelo é a mudança. Aí a pessoa pode depois pausar e ver as diferenças.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Aí o dele também. Vou passando devagar e pausa. Até pra eu ler depois também. Que eu gosto de ler muita história, sabe? Acompanhar tudo. Olá, Amélie, seja bem-vindo ao canal da Gameplay Retrô. Tudo bem com você? Tô aqui fazendo a live hoje do Genshin Impact. Tá sem câmera, tá hoje. Normalmente eu faço com câmera. Porque minha rinite tá atacando, mas não se preocupe. Próximas lives serão também com câmera aqui. Pronto. Tô concluindo aqui a história do Scaramouche. História muito boa, por sinal.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Ai, bom, resumiu a história.
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say? Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days.
Eu alterei o nome dela pra Lumiugi, devido ao jogo de cartas do Genshin Impact.
As a way of exacting revenge against...
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right.
De vez em quando eu boto os vídeos dos eventos de carta do Genshin Impact. Aí tá no canal. Se procurar um pouquinho, eu tenho uma playlist só pra isso. Você procurar depois. Todos os eventos de carta, desde a 3.8, se não me engano, eu tô colocando no canal. 3.8 a 3.9, eu não lembro agora. Sou eu.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Pronto. Aceitei. Aí... Está tentando entrar. Aceitei aí já. É a Helen, né? Pronto. Aí. Eu tentei pegar a Rutal nessa época. Aí veio a Dia no lugar, mas eu gostei também. Que eu tava querendo faz um tempo. Sim, deixa eu ver a história aqui, né? Pra continuar a quest. Eita, não dá pra continuar no modo multijogador. Então eu vou ter que fechar aqui, Melly, o multiplayer pra continuar a história. Que bonitinha. Aí eu vou fechar agora aqui ó, o multiplayer pra continuar o enredo. Aí depois a gente joga multiplayer, tá certo? Mas eu gostei, deixa eu tirar a foto aqui da personagem. Pronto. Eu já sei quem é pra fazer o convite de novo depois. Pera aí, deixa eu ver como é que tira o multiplayer. Eu não sei, eu não sou bom nisso. Aqui. Voltar ao modo single player. Pronto. Depois a gente marca pra poder jogar o multi. Só concluir o enredo que tá quase no final. Cristo. Esse jogo é muito bom.
Hey, it's them.
Gente, de novo? Será que dá pra pular?
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are.
We have time.
It's the same topic we discussed.
Voltei, beleza. Pronto, aí tá adicionado, né, meu? Tá adicionado já pra... Vou só adiantar aqui as histórias, que passou essa parte. Pronto. Aí depois a gente marca pra jogar multiplayer online. E até tem conquistas multiplayer que eu não fiz ainda também.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler, remember how...
What did you find out?
It's a long story.
O bom é que dá pra passar rápido a parte da história.
Wow. So...
Well. Ugh.
This new information...
Yes, okay, point taken.
And they're back at it.
Oh, so sorry. Look at
You're welcome.
Keep us in the loop if you find out
Eu tô
anything.
guardando as gemas pra poder pegar a Furina quando chegar na dia 8. Pronto, aqui, ó. Falar com a Narida agora. Aqui, eu já tenho, ó, 94 e já tô no garantido. Ou seja, já vou ter a personagem, né? Só falta saber quando. Tipo, com 10, com 20 ou com as 90 tentativas. Não sei, mas que vou ter a personagem é certo. Tu juntou pra pegar ela também?
Nahida, we're here! Traveler, Paimon, have you... Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a... The balladeer? You look troubled. Is there something...
Ó, até a Narida não se lembra. Que é a mudança na árvore do mundo, né? Por assim dizer. Na Irmisu.
Traveler? Hey, what's wrong? You...
Ah, ela vai contar a verdade. Criada pela Arconte Electro. Esse é basicamente o resumo que ela tá dando da quest de hoje.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Earth. But how is... As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to success... So, you believe this person really existed? And we just don't remember him because... Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do... The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't have... So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten... Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it? I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of...
Redefinir tudo. Eu acho que ele só tá com outro nome. Ele disse que ia deixar de ser escaramuche da forma como o conhece.
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have... He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And the story makes sense. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself. Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Teve alguma coisa que ele não podia mudar, né?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have this... What is it? A record from a personal collection. You should take a look. Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it? I
authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono and other records will have been changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup.
That's incredible! What a great...
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us.
História bem complexa essa.
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends.
Bonitinha, tipo de
The
história.
monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and
Eita.
murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure.
A história dele é de modo diferente.
To the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your..." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain.
O gato é o escaramuço. O monstro é o doutor, hein?
The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
É a história dele mesmo.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical...
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to... Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a...
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders. And also, before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first... We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui. But in all likelihood...
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still... Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended, that would...
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth, and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Mihida's right. Cheer up!
Good idea. Paimon.
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head. Let's go get a snack for one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
A história desse jogo é muito bonita. Gabriel, cadê a porradaria? Essa história de agora tá sem porradaria, vice Gabriel. Mas normalmente tem muita. O pessoal reclama bastante de Sumeru, alguns, porque não tinha muita porradaria nas histórias. Em algumas, né? Que tem umas que era batalha atrás de batalha. Somente uma parte final que eu enfrentei exatamente o escaramucho, o cara do chapéu. Ele virou até um desafio semanal. Aqui, ó. Isso é uma piada pra você. Meu irmão, esse filme do Joker foi ótimo. Foi um dos melhores que assisti no cinema. Até hoje ele tem referências, pô. Eu pensei assim, e na época foi engraçado. Aí eu tava trabalhando numa empresa de programação, né? Eu tava novato na empresa ainda. Mas já conversando com o pessoal, aí eu falo assim, o pessoal, um deles falou, né? Albert, vai lançar o filme do Joker no cinema. Alberto vai assistir, eu vou. Aí o pessoal, vou assistir na sexta-feira. Assisti hoje, né? Quando largar. E realmente foi na sexta-feira. Aí o pessoal, pegaram onda, inclusive o chefe. Até hoje não assisti esse filme. Eita pô, que é isso? Assista, é bom, você vai gostar. Aí o pessoal, né, os donos da empresa, pegaram e falaram: oi pessoal, segunda-feira tá todo mundo liberado, ninguém vai trabalhar não, viu? Zoando com a minha cara, pô. Aí todo mundo botou pra rir, eu também. É uma onda. Mas o filme foi muito bom. O filme foi bom demais, pô. Eu gostei. Aí eu cheguei na segunda-feira. Aí assim que eu entrei, né? 8 horas. O pessoal já chega um pouco antes. Aí chegou pontual. Às 8 mesmo. Aí eu falei, pessoal, assisti o filme, viu? Aí o pessoal, eita, cuidado, a cabeça tá com ideias aí. Eu botei pra rir. Mas
Excuse
o
me,
filme foi
boss.
muito bom,
There
pô.
seems to be a small problem with the
Olha ele
last
aí.
bill. Look, here.
Escaramuça. A roupa dele mudou a cor, que era roxo.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you see? Little rascal. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to...
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you... I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this...
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so...
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look...
Leave it to me. I'll find some more.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got... You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights.
Sim, ele é um andarilho.
That's right, I am. We can talk more about
É
that
outro
later.
nome dele também.
First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetius, was it?
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Aí o filme do Joker, quando eu fui assistir, eu fiquei com a expectativa lá embaixo. Porque tipo, o cara não seguiu nada dos quadrinhos, eu, pô, aí vamos lá, vou dar uma chance. Aí eu fiquei neutro, né, depois desse pensamento e fui assistir. Gostei, foi muito bom. Agora que eu realmente estou com receio é daquele outro filme que vai sair, o Joker 2, que vai ser um musical. Mas vamos ver. Pode ser que seja bom.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take... Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
Complicado, mas eu reconheço.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
Nenhuma cotação tão boa ao primeiro filme. É, tem isso também, né?
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of... Look, I'm just a wanderer. But
Alguns
seeing as
filmes
you've
são
gone through all
bons.
this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is... Okay, but please let me deliver...
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more.
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he let me take shelter in his cart.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Trilogia Batman. É.
Then let's return to the city.
E em videogames, a trilogia do Donkey Kong Country também. Muito boa. Apesar que não é questão de continuação de fato, né? São 3 jogos independentes, mas em tipo de mecânica tal, essas coisas. É muito boa a trilogia do Donkey Kong.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss.
I was just about to pay you anyway.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even... But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable.
But I don't... No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me.
Ir pro santuário. Teve uma história que eu joguei hoje, antes dessa aqui, antes da live. E foi uma história muito boa também. Mostrando a história de um pai e um filho. Às vezes o jogo dá aquela história retada. Às vezes não, muitas. O caminho é longo, né? Cheguei. Acho que já tá concluindo agora.
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. You say that you are trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans.
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant, but these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... I don't like to rely on using terms like this often.
Outra encarnação.
But in
Legal.
your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation. Oh, like a past life or something? Yes. Something far more distant than the past.
Okay, I have to... Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you.
In your previous, you nearly died because of what other people did. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time. A chain of cause and effect. A cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything.
Uma das maiores fãs.
Yeah,
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help?
this is so frustrating. This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street. He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if...
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Ele
Even
ficou
though it
bom
will
aí,
cause
né?
your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet. With no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world.
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your...
Understood.
Thank you. Now,
Acho que vai aquela árvore de novo. Corações. Opa, aí acho que vai ter a porradaria agora, hein? Vamos ver. Um templo? Qual foi? Pera aí, deixa eu ver qual elemento é. Normal. Olha que Gabriel pediu aí, porradaria. Eu acho que agora vai ter. Pediu até personagens.
This looks like Inazuma.
right now, you're in a dream I create. These memories will show you the raw truth. But be...
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve...
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to...
Alright.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this...
Is that because this is kind...
You could say that.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. No, there's no way. There's someone... You're awake. What? Huh. Not a scratch.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa.
And the rest is history.
In the original version of events,
Let me get you out of here.
during the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility, but Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa.
História bem complicada.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
It's fine with me.
De ressurreição.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Até agora nenhuma batalha.
What are we doing back
Gente.
here? Whoa, this is where you were born?
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager, he kept coughing all the time, just like me.
But you can't.
Yup. We're family now. We're gonna be...
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, after his mother died, the child stayed in their straw. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a...
What happened to the child?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! The voices have gone.
Let's keep going.
Interessante. De novo. Opa!
Look alive! Hey!
Mais outra memória.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One to be wielded with an iron will. Or drift
Bobo da corte.
Are you trying to win me over?
Fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join the...
Quem ligou com escudo de pedra, você literalmente derruba golpeando na porrada. E o restante dos outros elementos é só usar o elemento oposto para ter a reação.
Come at me. You can't run.
I swear by my sword. Let's get it on.
Go on.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Eu gosto de irritar os fanboys da Raiden Shogun, ou da Ei, né? Que é essa personagem aí, chamando de Bucha, Bushogun. Os caras se arretam, pô. É tipo, você fala porque não tem a personagem. Mas meu fim, a postagem deu mais de 100 e pouco pessoas xingando.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar. Hey, look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You...
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the Doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never failed to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes.
A história dele é bem pesada.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans.
Garoto.
Do you really count that as an asset?
É porque ele tem uns 400 anos, né? Aí ele fala de modo arrogante mesmo. Ele é mais do que centenário. Tá no caminho pra ser milenar. Tem 400 anos já. Por isso que ele é arrogante assim. E ele também é bastante poderoso. Quando ele veio no banner, veio junto essa aqui, ó, a Kokomi. Essa personagem. Aí como eu tava querendo ela já faz um bom tempo, acabei não pegando ele. Eita, deixa eu tirar aqui a câmera. Mas foi por pouco, pra saber se ele voltar eu pego. Mas realmente, ele é arrogante. E tem alguns que nem gostam dele. Já por causa disso. O cara é só um pouco mais alto que o Chuck. Porra. Só se for. O ruim é dar a bicuda nele, né? Porque o bicho é forte. Cadê a outra? Ah. Ligar a luz, já ficou escuro aqui.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru.
Já sai da história.
Considering that Amorta's sage Nafis refused to join this.
Welcome. I look forward to
História do doutor agora.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that
the biological transformation.
Você já passou na história dele.
You
Na
were the
história
most
anterior aí.
resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what...
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful...
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out. Let's move on.
Acho que vai ter mais batalhas. Hoje está uma bagunça no salão. Nossa. Parece que eu tô lá. Acho que é comemoração de Halloween. Então vou deixar passar.
Do you think I'm evil?
Você é o velho chato, não.
If you accept that he is you, just as you are...
In your eyes, are there any...
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
Bonita essa definição.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human
Mas
lives
realmente ele é
follow a set of
baixinho.
rules.
Ele é da altura da Lumiugi,
Collection of past experiences.
que também é
As a
baixinho.
puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since, but then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing... I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my...
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
As memórias dele.
You have made your decision. Now,
CG.
take this.
Bonita a CG do jogo.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is... my...
Is he alright?
Isso aí foi da luta contra ele. Foi uma luta muito boa, inclusive.
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Aí, Gabriel, pra acertar a bicuda nele é difícil, viu?
Die.
Desafio?
This is trying my patience.
Só ele.
Stupid questions.
Aí o bom dele é isso, voar. O jogo praticamente muda com ele. Eita, errei. Caso eu precisar de comida.
At my command, you shall fall.
Era pra estar voando agora. Não acredito. Ó, o jogo não deixou eu morrer, ó.
Insignificant past. You're dead.
O dano dele é bom. Só voar. Eita, nem vou atender.
The wind rises.
Eu não comprei doces. Não vou atender não.
You dare to gaze upon me? Behold, perish! Insignificant past! How amusing. Feeble human! Swollen fury! Too slow. At my command, you shall fall.
Poxa. Atingiu o limite.
Insignificant past.
Aí derrotei.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self.
Todo arrogante.
Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Tá perto. Sair da memória. Ah. Tem nenhum baú pra mim? Tem não.
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it. After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the 6th is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what... Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are...
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to serve, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after? I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, so that's how you found out whose fate had changed. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they?
Existe humano vivendo sem coração.
Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time
É
ago.
quase a história de... Como é o nome? Pinóquio.
Even without a heart.
Como se ele fosse
You're
Pinóquio.
just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts...
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but... The most
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Novo nome. Apelido feio.
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking.
The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe...
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a serious name you're after...
Como eu não tenho nenhum personagem com meu nome, eu vou colocar... Perceber quando for mudar. Tá em termo de uso, tá? Editar nome. Como eu não tenho um personagem com meu nome, eu vou colocar ele. Vai ser eu.
Are you sure? Oh, all right. If you say.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
Meu nome é
What about a
bonito.
nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me!
Pronto, agora eu tô no jogo oficialmente, já que eu não escolhi o personagem principal. A Éter, o personagem masculino, fica sendo ele.
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That...
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into... What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing. That day will come. Alright. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, so we can finally go eat?
Thank you both. I hope you will find...
Que é isso? Travou? Tá acabando a história.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi.
You mean because everyone else in the story is...
Yeah! I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the... The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned... Life is a story too long to be told. A journey that you must walk to behold.
Retorne para o local de descanso. Acho que vai teleportar mais rápido.
It's about time we had a break. as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow! Huh? Look at the Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something?
You sound lost and confused.
Oxente.
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate, like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes.
Que estranho.
Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that Anyway, that face is still lying there broke. Feels wrong just leaving it there.
Isso não aparenta que vai acabar bem. Aí concluiu. Santuário decrépito. Pena de apelação. Ah, vai deixar aí. Vai ficar Alberto o nome dele.
It's time to move on. We shouldn't stay.
Destino de apelação. Ainda ganhei recompensas. São Cariberte também, concluído. Pronto, a próxima quest eu vou fazer online também depois. Que vai ser a quest para poder começar a Fontaine. Foi mais de 2 horas de jogo agora. Cadê? Seria aqui, ó. Vou nem vir aqui, senão vai começar. Pronto, e a próxima live de Genshin Impact vai ser já essa quest. Obrigado a quem chegou, curtiu, comentou. Se chegou até aqui e não é inscrito, se inscreve, tá? Valeu, até a próxima gameplay, Retrô. Fui. Deixa eu ver como é que eu boto aqui agora. Sim. Valeu, pessoal. Falou. Até a próxima. Não se esqueça de se inscrever no canal, hein? Obrigado.